the Browns finally answering all of our prayers and relieving Joe Woods of his duties. I don't like to cheer for guys to be jobless. He probably has like a wife and kids, so that part of it sucks. But at the same time, like, it's a results business, and if you're not doing it, like, they have to let you go. You had plenty of time to be better. You'll get to be a position coach somewhere. I'm sure you'll land on your feet. But yeah, so we got a couple of voicemails talking about Joe Woods firing.
Yep, here we go with Brown Tiger with this.
I finally got the notification. Thank goodness they made the right decision, and Joe Woods has been fired by the Browns. Thank God. Now I'll have a chance to get the right defensive coordinator for the job. Finally, you make a right decision after a horrible 3 seasons. I'm sorry. That's all I feel like about that. Thank goodness we got rid of Joe Woods. All the best to you new endeavors. See ya. Go Browns.
I did see that also Kevin Stefanski would not commit to Mike Prefer when asked about him today.
Really? So I thought since he wasn't let go this morning, I was like, and I heard there were reports from like other people, reporters saying that this was going to be the only move they made. Now, obviously, the new defensive coordinator will get to bring in a staff, but I was under the assumption that Prefer had somehow survived.
Tony Grossi on Twitter said Kevin Stefanski would not rule out other changes on his coaching staff, said he will meet with other assistants over the course of the week, would not commit to Mike Prefer.
I'll say this, Stefanski's what some people don't like about him with the hooting and hollering and stuff. To me, he seems a little bit, which is why I don't get when people say he doesn't have control. He seems a little bit like cold and calculated. Like he's like almost like a robot. Like he just walk up to him and be like, "Hey, you're not on the team anymore. See ya."
Well, and the thing that and we didn't get to talk about this last week, obviously, because it happened later in the week. But the thing that was, I mean, it sucked to see the Clowney situation, but it was cool to see that the team instantly was like, "Why don't you just go home?"
But can we just talk about that for like a minute?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Who does Jadeveon Clowney think he is?
I don't. That was pretty bad.
Bro, you're mad because they're trying to get better matchups for Myles Garrett, and I saw somebody. What are you talking about? We barely move Myles around, and Myles is in the top of the league of getting double teamed. So he's getting that's statistically provable, Jadeveon, you idiot. So if Myles is getting double teamed all the time, why aren't you feasting? Yeah, it's the Browns' fault. We're not trying to win. We're just trying to get Myles in the Hall of Fame. The dude's getting double teamed every play, and you still only had 2 sacks. You've never had 10 in a season. This dude's ego is unbelievable. He is so much better than what he actually is. He's great at stopping the run. But this dude thinks he's prime J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Reggie White. And he's just a solid player. And that's it. Bro, you've been a free agent the last 2 years and nobody wanted you.
Correct.
So was it Tennessee's fault nobody wanted you?
Was it Houston's fault?
Yeah, it's crazy. This dude, we put out a video 2 years ago when he turned us down the first time, and we dogged him, and then we got him, and so we bought into him, and he had a pretty good year last year, but can't change your spots. I mean, whenever I heard that, I was just like, dude, what are you talking about? That's ignorant.
It was one of the dumbest comments he could have made.
And I just thought the timing was bad. You know what I mean? You're like literally a day before you're about to play.
That's what I was talking about.
Big rivalry.
Somebody today, like the season is a couple days away from being over.
Just wait.
You can't just wait and shut up for a minute. Like let us finish out the season. My God.
He said that did he say, was that
Mary Kay, wasn't it?
It's Cleveland.com, yeah.
Like, you couldn't wait a couple days to put it out, Mary Kay. You just had to rush to get it out before the Steelers game.
But the thing is, though, she's just doing her job as a reporter. He didn't have to say anything. That's the thing, like. And who reaches out for that interview? Does she say, hey, do you have any beef you want to talk about with the Browns? Or do you say, hey, I got something I want to say. I want you to put it out. As a player, that stuff doesn't get said if you don't say it.
Oh, I agree with that.
No, I agree. She's doing her job, but it's like, are you a Browns fan, Mary Kay?
Like, she's a Mary Kay fan first.
You could have put that out, last night. Like you had to rush to get it out 2 days before the Steelers game.
Yeah.
Just to create some controversy before the game.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But I'm just glad that the move was instantly, we're done, just go home. They just sent him home.
It's just another chapter closing.
Yeah.
On our
dream
team.
He wasn't coming back next year.
I know.
No, but
I know.
We got another voicemail about Joe Woods.
We do. Last one for the day. This is Kenny Mack.
Hey guys, it's Kenny Mack, and thank God this season's over. What a disappointment. I mean, the defense alone just cost us so much, but I guess Joe Woods paid the price for that. He had a half a year that was maybe good. And let me know who you want for a defensive coordinator. Also, just about the offense, just super disappointing the way Watson came back. Obviously, he's rusty. There was some weather and all this kind of stuff. But the offense literally looks clunky. I just don't like the play calling in this last game that just ended. I just thought we passed too much, missed some stuff that was open. And I thought we really could have played the same game that the Steelers did. We could have just bared down, ran Nick Chubb, and won the game. But I also am disappointed with Kareem Hunt and the way we utilize them. But let me know your thoughts. Cheers.
I think we kind of touched on
the game
and how why didn't we? So, but yeah, back to Joe Woods.
Oh,
so obviously Joe's gone.
Yeah,
and it's not. I don't want people to get it twisted too. Like just because Joe Woods got fired doesn't all of a sudden mean like we're guaranteed to be good. The players. I blame a lot on Joe Woods and his philosophy, but the players still sucked. You know, they still miscommunicated all the time, didn't tackle for shit. You know, so the players got to buy in. John Johnson today, when they asked him what he's looking for in a new defensive coordinator, he said, "Oh, somebody who can get you to play for her." Wait, what? Coaches are supposed. Coaching is important. Motivation is important. Getting the most out of your guys is important. Putting them in the right position to utilize their skills is important. But, dude, you're still a professional athlete. At the end of the day, you should still go out and play hard. It's your freaking job.
Mm-hmm. So what, you didn't want to play for Kevin?
Yeah.
Like, you still have other coaches you could play for.
What about the guys on your team?
The guys on your team. The team itself. You play for the Browns.
Yeah,
the fans, your job, your future. Hopefully, you can get another contract. Like, what are you guys doing out there?
Yeah,
You're putting garbage on tape. We talked about that with Wills.
To me, that comment told me like, "Hey, we quit on this dude months ago.
Yeah,
we quit. He couldn't get us to play, so we just quit." Like that. That's what that comment told me. And I think Miles started dropping hints forever ago.
Yeah,
and then the Clowney stuff comes out. It almost seemed like an orchestrated effort by players to get him out of here. I don't think they like playing in the system at all.
No, it was clearly evident on the field.
I don't think Denzel Ward liked it. I don't. I think the players were not a fan.
No,
they talked about the lack of adjustments, all kinds of stuff.
So I just thought of this. Look at the difference between a guy like Denzel Ward, who's been in the league, 5 years? 6 years, something like that? Whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Pro bowler, highest pay, whatever, all that stuff. And then you got Martin Emerson, rookie. Which one played harder this year? Harder.
Oh, definitely Martin Emerson.
Right, because he's the rookie. He's out there. He's like, I have to play hard. I got to make a name for myself. I got to earn my spot. Denzel Ward, you can see, I don't need to earn anything, so he can quit.
Yeah.
You see it from some of these older, more established players, and that's very unfortunate.
But yeah, so before we wrap up the episode, then I want to transition quickly, which we probably haven't. He just got fired this morning, so we haven't done a ton of research. But I saw the Browns have already requested to interview Gerard Mayo from the Patriots. I believe he's their linebackers coach.
Correct.
So I think somebody said he calls their defense.
Defensive assistant is what I saw.
He calls the plays for their defense. That's pretty much.
I feel like that's Bill's defense.
Yeah. And then we've requested to interview Brian Flores, which I think is everybody's guy that they want right now. And then we requested to interview Jim Schwartz.
Correct.
And is there anybody else? I think those are the three I've heard.
Seattle's defensive coordinator. I saw his name kind of.
Okay. Is there anybody that comes to your guys' mind of who you want? And I know I'll throw another name out there. Lovie Smith just got fired by the Texans.
Lovie Smith, yep.
I don't think Lovie Smith's a great head coach at all. I know the Texans are getting a lot of shit right now for firing him after 1 year, 2 years in a row. They've done it now. But I fully expected him to only be there 1 year.
Yeah, real quick, Broncos defensive coordinator. I'm going to try this. Ejiro Evero,
Okay.
also in play as a candidate.
Which that's only possible because they fired Hackett. So I'm assuming the new head coach will bring in his own staff.
And Denver's defense for the majority of this season was
spectacular.
I feel like they just
Awesome.
quit at the end.
yeah, the whole team was done.
Yep. I know who I have liked Jim Schwartz for a long time. I'm a big Jim Schwartz fan. I don't think they could go wrong with Flores or Schwartz. To me, if I had to pick one, Schwartz is the one I want, and just personal preference in terms of I've been a fan of his from even when he was in Detroit. I've just always liked his defenses, and I've just always been a fan of his. I'm not anti Brian Flores. I'd be super pumped if we got him. But if we were to go get Schwartz, Andrew Berry would have to change his mind on how he values interior D line. Jim Schwartz is very much about a powerful front four. He's had Albert Hainsworth and Ndamukong Suh. When he won the Super Bowl for the Eagles, he had another super good interior D lineman.
Is it Fletcher Cox?
I was thinking Fletcher, but I don't know if he was.
But this dude, anytime this guy take over a defense, it goes from bad to good,
is true.
instantly. And I just think he's got a little bit of nasty in him. He's not quite as insane as Greg Williams, but I think he's kind of got he's more on that spectrum.
We need a little of that.
Yes.
We
And
need
I
a little gritty.
Out of all the guys, the two guys is for me is Schwartz and Flores. A lot of it has to do with the fact that they were former head coaches. So I like the idea of having that defensive coordinator understanding the role, the responsibilities, the pressures, and everything that Kevin's going through.
Which is, I don't know anything about Gerard Mayo, but I'm out on him for the sole fact that we don't need another inexperienced coach on the staff.
Correct.
In my opinion.
Where are you guys at on Zimmer?
I would. He's a good defensive coordinator.
Absolutely. Head
Would he
coaching
come-
experience.
Yes. Would he come and work for the guy that he used to be
Correct.
the boss of?
Correct.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And,
Be a little weird, right?
Yeah, kind of old now. I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if we hired him at all.
I do think we need a guy that can be like, this right here, this side of the ball, this is mine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure like Kevin will have some type of input here and there, but I'd like somebody that just comes in and that's their unit.
And with Kevin almost acting as the offensive coordinator as well as the head coach, with Van Pelt, whatever, it would be nice to have like a Flores or a Schwartz with that head coaching experience to say, this whole side of the ball, don't even worry about it. I got it.
Right.
And I can handle, from A to Z, everything you need to worry about, I got.
Yep.
Be an assistant head coach or whatever.
Yeah.
What about you, John? Do you know any of these guys?
I know
People want to hear more from John.
They do.
Guys, if you want to hear more from John, tune into the After Hours today. We're making John
hosting.
run it. He's hosting it.
Does he do it by himself? I thought we were leaving.
Yeah, it's going to be a monologue.
You know how to turn everything off, right?
I'll just do it by myself.
That'd be excellent. That'd be
Yeah,
so
I
good.
know their names, Blake. I know their names. I don't watch a lot of non-Browns football, so but I'm with Josh. I like your ideas of people with head coaching experiences. Probably the best way to go. I think Kevin's got so much on his plate. I think that's one of the reasons he's maybe
So,
looked like he's suffered.
do you think he should be calling plays then? I mean,
Here's the thing. I could be wrong. I almost think Kevin would be better calling plays than not being a head coach, but that's not possible. He's not going to take a demotion. I don't know. I'm really curious to see how Kevin would be as a head coach with someone calling plays for him just to ease the stress. But I don't know if that's going to happen either. So
I don't think so, buddy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, what does he need freed up to do? Yell at the officials?
it's not anything specific like that. It's more.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I get that. Our offense sometimes, man, I don't know.
I just think there's a lot of stuff that happens during the course of a football game where if you're the head coach and you're trying to call, I just feel like there's a certain amount of the games offensively that you're not a part of because you're focused on what's on the play sheet, what's going on the field. The guys that maybe just came off the field, you can't step aside and talk to them for a minute and address anything with them because you're so focused on just what's happening on the field. I don't know. I mean, it's been 3 years of it, and the question, no one is saying that Kevin 100% for sure should be calling plays. That has not been established after 3 years.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
not
after
saying
1
he should
year.
or shouldn't.
What's that?
It was after 1 year.
After the year that you said was the bad.
In
But I'm just saying, after his first year, nobody was complaining about him calling the plays.
And nobody was complaining about Baker either. We all wanted him to sign a long-term contract.
Hey, that's a good point.
Time changes everything, man.
I don't know.
We had this top 10 offense through the first how many games.
I know, then there's that
the thing is, I never thought we looked like a top 10 offense. We just had a top 10 offense somehow. We never looked that high-powered.
Right.
Efficiency.
Well, we were top 10 in efficiency, so you can't say efficiency. Like, we were literally top 10 in efficiency.
No, I'm saying we never looked like a super high-powered offense.
Well, we had a Browns offense next to the Chiefs offense.
And we had a backup quarterback.
Well, it was the same way with the year when we went to the playoffs. We were averaging almost 30 points a game. We just did it differently.
I just don't feel like we beat up on anyone this year, and we have.
It's impossible to beat up on somebody when your defense gives up 40 points a game.
Well, and the other thing to think about with these potential former head coaches coming in, does that cause any sort of strife heading into next year where we start 0-3, Kevin's on the hot seat, and everybody's saying, just fire him and put Flores in, move him up to head coach? Like, do you increase the risk of that kind of stuff happening?
I don't think so, because like if we were to fire Kevin Stefanski, I don't want a defensive head coach. I would want to go find an offensive head coach.
Right.
That's like the way the league is going. Some defensive guys do okay, but for the most part, a lot of these defensive-minded head coaches suck.
They end up as defensive coordinators.
Yes. So that's not a problem for me. Now, could they step in and be an interim coach? Okay, maybe. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to hear some names. I hope they make a hire quickly. I hope it doesn't take forever.
Well, hey, we are in the best part of Browns season, the off season, baby. This is where hope gets restored, hype gets renewed, and we all sound like idiots again.
If we had a first-round draft pick, we're on our Super Bowl run.
We would have done mock draft 1 already.
It is so much fun.
Gage Tucker already sent a mock draft.
I saw it.
The season's been done for 16 hours. I don't even know who any of these players are.